I think when I finished, I'd had 21 years, and I remember when I left Sheffield United on the last day of the season, and I remember there was myself and Craig Short, and they gave us both a bottle of a Magnum of champagne and said, you know, thank you. I then got downstairs, shut the door behind me, and I thought, that's it. You know, and I kind of looked back and I thought, well, you know, what's next? I don't actually think that there is enough help on hand for players. You know, with careers advice, for example, I think that, you know, certainly in certain aspects we can do a lot more to help players, perhaps when they're not retired but coming up to retirement. I think that we need to perhaps sit them down and, you know, make them understand that, you know, it's a tough world out there, because, you know, I was somebody, it's almost like saying, you know, the king is dead, long live the king. You know, somebody else is willing to step into your shoes straight away. And I don't think that players are ready for that, and that's why sometimes players have problems. You know, it's not always, you know, at the top 5%, you might see some people going to punditry, you know, and you see them all, you know, sitting around a table and it looks great, but, you know, it isn't like that for most players. I had applied for jobs, but nothing back. I think one club, I won't say who, but they sent me an email just saying, politely saying no. So it was a little bit of frustration, because, you know, here I am, I played professional football for 21 years. I've played under some good managers, played under some England managers, played under some good club managers, and I just couldn't find a way in. I'm not the kind of person who thought, well, I'll try and get a job off my my reputation as a player. I thought, well, I'm going to go through the process of, you know, getting my badges, you know, learning a little bit about the game away from the game. So yeah, it was still frustrating to think that after going through all that process, I wasn't even going to get the opportunity. So from that point of view, I thought, well, how can I do something a little bit different? I used to come out to Norway quite a lot with Ian, I've brought as my assistant coach, and you know, I've started building a network that way. This is my first opportunity, and I haven't got money like some other clubs can go and buy a player, they can let go a player. I've got to evaluate everybody, I've got to see if I can develop them as a team. The level's been good. I mean, you know, it's completely different to you know, in England at the top level, you know, because we're in the Tipper League, which is the top level in Norway. The way how they've been brought up is different to how it is in England, I must say. I think that perhaps at times the money has perhaps distorted the view of how a professional should act. You know, I find that when I'm talking to the players, they look at you in the eyes, they're like they're hungry. That's a relationship that I want with my players. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for some of the Premier League clubs to actually bring out some of their under-21 players, for example, and give them the opportunity to play here. I do believe in developing players. I think that you can influence young players, you know, and if we stay up this season, then I'll have done my job. I know it's not going to be easy, but, you know, I believe in myself, I believe in my players. And I believe that the players want to play for me. So I think with all of that, if they give me 100%, then I can't ask anything more from them. You know, we're doing something that most people would die for, to be a professional footballer. You know, it doesn't get better than this. You know, the second best thing I'm doing the second best thing, which is managing a group of players, doing what they love doing. So it's fantastic, and you know, I wouldn't swap it now.